Chapter 6, Art Sells Genius. Joshua loved getting laughs because every laugh was a win. And this stay-at-home dad, 3 unplanned kids later for the past 9 years, could use all the wins he could get. He also loved how a winning new joke screamed touchdown because the desired result is, ha ha, not interesting, it made me smile, your material brightens my day, I didn't care for it, or is this supposed to be funny? Getting laughs also made Joshua feel unique because he had dedicated almost 2 decades of his life to assume mastery of his craft, maximize his funny man essence, and make the most of his powers of imagination to the best of his God-given ability. Also, on a baser level, Joshua became addicted to scoring laughs from rehearsed one-liners or inspired riffs in the moment, synthesizing these scattered observations and punchlines of years past because it made him feel like a less all-over-the-place Jew. Feeling less out of control was important to Joshua because since being the only schmuck with a stutter who graduated from a top communication school at Ithaca College in '99, his job history in corporate America has been less than stable, knowing he's been fired more than a Palestinian slingshot. Joshua overcame his stutter through cold calling through the entire Los Angeles Business Journal book of lists for 12 hours a day for 6 months straight without any supreme confidence horizon in sight. Joshua was already sensitive by nature to begin with, so cold calling IT directors twice his age at 22 grew hair on his sack and transformed him into the funny man, hot-pitching joke animal he is today. The reality is, when Joshua met his future wife as a digital sales rep for CitySearch in Manhattan, on Barry Diller's balcony overlooking Central Park above Carnegie Hall, he was fearless, literally hitting on at least 3 other girls before starting a conversation with Anna, as unromantic as that sounds. Anna was just out of college, working for Barry Diller's SVP of Mergers and Acquisitions. Actually, Anna was engaged when their eyes first met, which Joshua had no clue about, till months after the fact. Sending home the notion in Anna's heart, real deal love was finally here to stay. Anna dropped the L-bomb first, one sweltering August night in her one-bedroom in Greenpoint on Minor Street. The best Joshua could muster in the moment was, I have very strong feelings for you, but later, Joshua took the bungee love jump heart first and told Anna he loved her too, as the walls in her old Brooklyn apartment began to pulsate with actual heart-thumping motion you'd see on a half an eighth of strong magic mushrooms in college, minus the Jim Morrison blacklight posters. Anna used to invite all of her friends to Joshua's bringer shows at various comedy clubs throughout Manhattan, like the New York Comedy Club, Broadway Comedy Club, even the Comedy Cellar, before Joshua got banned from performing there for going over his allotted time by 8 hours. For once, Joshua got off to a super strong start, doing Heather Mills material and how he didn't miss all the driving in LA, but he did miss Roadhead, especially along the Pacific Coast Highway. Once you enter Malibu, where you see a sign that says Malibu, 27 miles of scenic, ball-blistering bliss. Soon after, Joshua scored a huge crowd work-inspired laugh after pointing out a girl in the audience, stating, "Did you just call shotgun?" The crowd roared with approval and laughed even more after Joshua stated in a playful, carefree manner, "Just playing. I wasn't getting any C stairs up here." But then Joshua got into trouble once he started ignoring the light, which is a sign to wrap it up. And he got cocky, feisty fast, saying, "The light already? I only invited my own private militia." It would be one thing if Joshua wrapped up his set in the next minute, but he went prodding on and on till after he wrapped up his set, the MC got up in his face, cursed him out, and told him he'd never perform at the famed Comedy Cellar again. He was correct. Although after Joshua got his TV writing break, writing all the TV host intros for America's Hot 100, ranking the greatest hair metal and hard rock videos on VH1 Classic, he decided to drop by the cellar and grab a drink. He ordered a wild turkey. The bartender asked Joshua, "Would you like it neat?" meaning no ice. Joshua replies, "A wild turkey neat? Who do you think I am? Nick Nolte?" Another dude behind the bar took a sudden interest in Joshua and asked, "Are you a comedian?" Joshua replies, "Open micer turned hair metal historian is more like it." It turns out the guy behind the bar worked the door and is the guy you see greeting Louis at the start of his own show, Louis, before he enters the Comedy Cellar. He told Joshua, "The drink is on the house." All of a sudden, Joshua felt like a real comedian again because art sells, baby. Still, this was 14 years ago. And Joshua's stand-up comedy album, recorded from home, Resist This, consisting nothing but A-plus jokes, cherry-picked from his 162 Do It All Dad Year podcast episodes, was getting him nowhere fast. Plus, his two self-published books, Do It All Dad Does Jokes and Controlling My Kids a Comedy, a Love Story, weren't flying off the shelves of Amazon's online store either. Joshua needed to innovate or die. Again, like his old recruitment sales owner, boss Terry used to pound into his cranium, stressing the importance of picking a race to win and sticking with it. So Joshua wouldn't constantly feel like such an emotionally drained, tumultuous, all over the place Jew. The exact words of wisdom Terry imparted to Joshua almost 8 years ago. Joshua, you're very eclectic, and from a guy who grew up on a ranch, I can say with the utmost confidence you have the makings of a star racehorse. But pick a race, stick with it, and stop being such an indecisive, all-over-the-place Jew for once in your life. But now Joshua had experienced the freedom of being his own boss for too long and been spoiled rotted on the stay-at-home comedian podcast, host blogger, sub-publisher at the front, and developed the most beautifying circle of love around his 3 pitch-perfect kids who'd stroke his now gray speck beard after another all-star meal creation to be later promoted on his father-son dish review show, Better Than Booby, on YouTube. Like his latest and greatest Mexican lasagna dish made with corn tortillas, homemade tomato salsa, sauteed black beans, shredded pepper jack, and specks of Cabot habanero cheddar, promoting yummy dances galore from his 3 biggest fans in the universe outside of God, who he must have made laugh hard, long time, for blessing him with such a one-of-a-kind home team. Only the funny man righteous clowns could be blessed with in the face of so many family members and other ex-friends relishing him being off the success, money-making radar of life in their eyes for good. Once Joshua made a homemade pizza for his 3 kids with some roasted cherry tomatoes from their garden, with fresh-cut speck shards of scattered basil on top of the cream-filled burrata cheese, which didn't get too gooey or messy on top, inspiring his 9-year-old daughter, Beshert Agent, to ask, "Daddy, I know you still really want to be a stand-up comedian, but can you be a pizza maker in heaven instead?" Maybe there was a way where Joshua could still make his mark in the world, marrying his love of creating yummy dances, generating meals, and scoring laughs, all while creating a family business his 3 kids could be involved with. So he could become a true do-it-all dad, rising from slug to paid stud, who could take his long-awaited victory lap in his dream comedy gold Porsche SUV mobile after all.